What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to PlayStation Generation episode 16. My name's Matt, and I'll be your host for today's events. I'm joined, as always, by the great one himself, Mr. Court Lalonde. What's up, Court?
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
I'm good. It's a very matte shirt you're wearing.
Yeah, it's a little bit of metal Miles Morales.
Yeah, it's very matte. That's a very matte shirt today.
Yeah.
It's
I
right
love it.
there.
Yeah. Me and my metal loving heart, along with my Miles loving heart, fused together to make
Are you
just
a metal
one
lover?
big heart. Hardcore, not like straight metal, more like
Okay.
hardcore.
I did not know that. I can't
Interesting.
see you as like a screaming.
Oh, bro, I throw down in that pit.
Okay.
I've been
Wow.
told by friends that it looks like it's the real me coming out in a mosh pit, where it's just like all the aggression and
interesting.
everything just flows through me, and I just throw down, bro.
Okay.
You're a big
learning
boy, so I
things.
would not want to be in a mosh pit with you.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, we like I've gotten kicked in the head. I've crowd surfed. I've thrown a lot of people up to crowd surf, and sometimes it's like these tiny people, like half your size, are just like taking you out. It's not about size, bro. It's about momentum. And if you got it, you'll take people out.
Wall of Death.
Wall of Death, bro. One time
Oh,
at
man.
Warped Tour, I was literally about to
This
start
one
in a
time
wall.
at band camp.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to take off in a wall of death, and as I start running, my shoe comes off, and like I catch it like with my toes with the shoelaces, and I literally, as the two sides like clash into each other, I had to duck down underneath everybody, quickly put my shoe back on, and then pop back up right as the breakdown hit. It was perfect. It was immaculate.
Amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah, no, I'm all about it. Rice, my dude, the PlayStation Hokage himself. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, Matt? Good to be here as always. I'm doing well. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it, dude. I like the hat.
Thanks, man. This is hashtag hope. It's actually a program that focuses around suicide prevention, and
Hell yeah.
yeah, I know the guys personally, and they do some really, really great work. So I'm rocking some of their merch today.
I'm gonna have to look this up. That sounds super dope.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing. I used to have a ton of To Write Love on Her Arms gear back in the day.
Nice. Yes.
Which again, Warped Tour, like I miss Warped Tour.
Absolutely.
I miss Warped Tour
me,
so much.
me too.
Dude, I guarantee you, because like right now, all the concert tours, a lot of them, even though like that My Chemical Romance one that went around, like that is sort of going towards your age group, but they're really still focusing on my age group because of the disposable
Right.
income. So just think about this. Like right now, you're getting all these movies that I grew up with. Like I always talk about it, Matt's like, I don't even know what these are. I'm like, well, in like 5-10 years from now, Matt, you're gonna be getting overloaded with like nostalgia to your generation. So it's gonna be like
True. That's a good point.
you're gonna have like all your little anime stuff. You're gonna have everything, and they're just gonna be taking your money. Just like yesterday, I sent Matt a text. I was like, "Hey, I just saw a Christmas ornament that you need to buy." He's like, "All right, I have one." I'm like, "No, you don't have this one though."
Yeah, he literally sent me like a Hallmark Spider-Man ornament.
It is
and I
a
was
great
like,
looking one.
It
though.
is a great looking one. No doubt. But yeah, it looks great. I have a Spider-Man Hallmark
But this one,
ornament, but this one's dope.
yeah, right. It is like Spider-Man. It goes on 2 different branches, so it looks like he's swinging from one branch to the other.
Oh, that.
I know, right?
And the webs
Yeah.
and the webs look like are like a string of lights.
Yeah, it's the most Matt thing I've ever. Like I saw it, and I
That's
was
amazing.
like, he needs that for his Christmas tree. He does.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, I mean, to keep things focused on Christmas, on this week's show, we're going to be talking about the return of PlayStation Stars. We're going to be talking about some Stellar Blade. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch about Concord, some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and more. So stay strapped in and prepare thyself for the ride of a lifetime. But before we get into all of that, let's check in on what's been keeping us busy. And folks, I'm just going to leave Concord off on the side for now.
But
So let's come
Oh.
back to it. Let's hit the other stuff, and then we'll dive in on Concord. So, Court, have you been playing anything other than Concord?
No.
Okay. Rice, what about you, my dude?
Destiny 2.
Okay, so we could just go into Concord then.
Well, I've been playing. There's a review up that went up this morning on the site for a game called Skim. It's coming to PlayStation in a few days. It is probably one of my favorite games this year. It's basically if you took Journey and made it into a platformer where you play this little soul, like this little soul that hops from shadow to shadow. And basically a skim is a piece of someone's soul that essentially lives as a part of them. And you get separated from your human on like the worst day of this dude's life. So you as the skim is like platforming across shadows, across the cities, across zoos, across like convenience stores to try to get back to your human. But it genuinely tells a pretty
Who made that game?
It's like a couple of small indie developers. I can't remember their name.
That sounds like a great game. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot. I will be boring the living daylights out of the both of you next week with college football, but
I think I'll be sick that day.
I'm definitely gonna be. I totally get it, man. Like, everybody, like, I've seen everybody on the timeline just playing it, and me just harassing Bobby, just be like, "Hey, I want to play this game." Otherwise, I'm definitely gonna buy it because it's a sports game that we haven't got since the Xbox 360 days. So I need to play this game, man.
Fair. Yeah, but Skim is real good. It tells like a pretty beautiful story, though the art style is just absolutely gorgeous. Like it looks like line work, but mixed with like watercolor painting. I'm gonna pull up a trailer very quick here because I'm not doing a good job explaining what it looks like.
Are they Canadian?
No, not as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pull it up here. Oh no, press the wrong button. There we go.
We almost got porn.
Almost. Can't let that happen again. But yeah, so you play this little dude and you hop from shadow to shadow.
Oh my god, it almost looks like the Goose Game.
Similar, like a similar vibe, but like it also gives me like Journey vibes. You can like interact with different stuff as you make your way across. So like you can turn off the lights on and off to like make cars move, to give you new shadows to move across different spaces with. It's really good. I really, really loved it. It took me like 6 hours, I think, but like it flew by. I loved every second.
I love the going through the shadows thing. I think that's great.
Dude. It's like probably one of the most unique platformers I've ever seen, because sometimes you have to time it with people walking by, with cars, with bikes. Like it's really
this game looks
clever.
fun.
It's really fun. It's just
I can play this with my daughter.
100%. It's not ever difficult. Because like again, like it's just sometimes you have some timing stuff, sometimes it's just figuring out what does what. So like here you see them messing with it to like cause a car jam up so that they can get across the other side of the road because there's no shadows there. So it's just really,
you know what it reminds me of for some weird reason? Remember that Donut Holes game?
Yes.
Just because of like the puzzle aspect to it, right? Donut County, yes. With the puzzle aspect, because this is technically a puzzle platformer, right? You're just not realizing it. You're just thinking you're platforming, but you're puzzling it. And Donut County does the same thing, where you're not open world, but you're third person puzzle finding, right? But hey, it doesn't have the same. It just has the same vibe, I feel, and I really love that game. So I'm gonna check this game out.
You should, dude.
Me too.
When's it come out?
The 18th, so in just a few, or 17th. Sometime in the next few days. I can't remember if it's the 17th or 18th. But
it says 18th.
18th, yeah, because it launches the same day as like Flintlock and Dungeons of Pittsburgh. So it's a busy indie week this week. But don't let Skim pass you by, because it's really, really special.
It's SCHIM for the audio listeners there. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I played that. I've been playing a whole bunch of Zenless Zone Zero still, and that game has me hooked. The combat is just really fun and really satisfying. I'm still logging in every day to try and do a couple of the daily things so I can get my gotcha fix in and roll and try and get the S-class characters. That's far away from what I could do right now, but still, I'm having a lot of fun with it. The combat is just really slick. It's really fun. But without further ado, folks, let's talk some Concord, because the early access weekend popped off over the course of last weekend. It was available for anybody who had pre-ordered the game, along with anybody who was on PlayStation Plus. To kind of, some set dressing here. I was not that excited about Concord coming into it. I think all of us got excited about what that trailer looked like initially, and then when the gameplay actually showed, a lot of us were like, "Nah, let's see how this actually feels," because I think that's what's going to make or break the game for a lot of people. Hopped in, I really liked it. I posted a tweet about it, and then got a metric ass ton of hate. Because people really want this game to fail because it has a diverse character lineup. And
can we, before you get into the one, we have to put a disclaimer on it. Matt and I both got our codes from PlayStation.
I did not.
Sorry. No. Oh, okay. Sorry. My apologies. I forgot about that little hiccup email address thing. But what? They're aliens, man. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't get it, man. Like, I didn't want to originally, when this was all happening, I messaged Matt and I'm like, I'm just staying out of it, man. I just wasn't in the mood when the onslaught of Matt's, like, I'm not kidding you. I went out on the weekend and I was doing something. I messaged Matt and I was like, what the F just happened? And Matt's like, check out Twitter. So like, I went into my phone and I had like 90 notifications because he's tagged me in this tweet.
I
So I'm
tagged
like,
Steve and Court because we had been playing together, and they were both in the picture of a
Right.
victory screen. And people just lost their minds, and people have problems that the characters have pronouns listed, which I don't know why would
no,
bother.
Moore was the one guy got mad. The pronouns were in Matt's bio. Yet Matt comments about his bio, and he says to Matt, "Why are you talking about my bio?" And I'm sitting there, literally having lunch with my kid, and I was just like, "Are
Yeah.
you like? Do you understand how stupid you sound?" Like, I hope this guy's listening. You're an idiot. You just literally told one guy, "Hey, your bio sucks," and then he makes fun of your bio, and you're like, "Why are you talking about my bio?" Do you not understand how dumb you sound?
Yep.
Like,
I got into the comments quick because listen, I have no problem. General reaction to the game online is largely positive. There are some folks who don't like it, say that that it may feel too slow, may not be their type of game. The gun kickback may not be enough for some folks coming from different shooters, which is totally fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with not liking the game because of how it plays or how it feels to you.
Correct.
You're an absolute moron if you're getting upset because there's a diverse character lineup, because the game has pronouns in it, and like everybody's like, oh, there's so many people that were like, this game's dead on arrival because the characters are ugly. I like the art style. I think it looks cool. Like people, I saw some tweets being like taking clips of one of the main black characters from this game and putting it next to one of the characters from the first Descendant, being like, this is ugly characters now. This is beautiful characters. It's like, what's wrong with you people?
What?
There is nothing.
Direction. It has nothing to do with character.
There's nothing wrong with not liking Concord, but I almost want to start championing this game just because just to get up against all these racists and all these bigots, because that's where my issue lies. Some folks were very respectful. They're like, I didn't like the way that it felt. I thought it felt slow. Understandable.
Yep.
Personally, I really liked what I played. It is not perfect. I think it needs some balancing work. I think tanks are way too powerful. I think the game can feel too slow. I think that at least, and like some of the stuff, I'm trying to give it some space because it is the early access beta, because like obviously there's no training mode. Closed beta. Open beta will be next weekend. You don't have a lot of room to try these characters out. You're just kind of thrown in and left to the wolves to figure out what these characters are and how they play, which can be frustrating, which leads to just a lot of loss up front. So there are things that needs balancing. There are things to figure out, but I think there is a really solid ground here that I think people will ignore just because of their bigotry and their racism. And I think that sucks.
And also I did notice, because I did go down. At first I said to Matt, I wasn't going to do anything. And then Sunday morning I decided, it's 6:30 a.m. I'm going to have some fun with idiots. So I had more fun of my responses were more like traps them. I would say something and then they would reply back, and then I would let them contradict themselves. And then literally the one guy who kept calling the game woke, he just kept digging himself to the point where he stopped responding to me and only would respond to other people, because I eviscerated him on the black. Like I put him in a body bag way too many times, and there's nothing he could do about it. Like he literally at one point said to Matt, after he would not respond to me, that he can make up whatever definition he wants of woke. Woke means whatever he wants it to be.
Oh,
it was one of that. It got to that point, but I also did notice, and I do hate this. I would say 80% of the people that were in Matt's mentions, besides that they were, following Andrew Tate and Elon Musk, they were big Xbox people. And I find it very weird energy. I find that energy weird. I'm not saying that Xbox people are, Andrew Tate and Elon Musk. And if you like that, that's fine. I personally don't, but that's cool. If that's your
console war.
The console war part. I found there was a lot of people that were in Matt's mentions solely based on, I swear there had to have been a Reddit post, because there was just people coming out of everywhere that don't follow any. It was just so weird. And you would go under their profile, and it would be like Xbox. And I was just like, really? If we got to the point in console warring that we can't talk about the game, I'll tell you this. I wasn't a fan. I did find it slow. I didn't like the gun combat. I found it annoying to having to be like, well, Matt and Steve were like, we're playing, and they're like, you've got to definitely be in a group. Otherwise, and if you're not in a group and play as a team, you're just going to get dummied. The things I did like, I thought the traversal was very cool. The jetpack and being able to jump. I found there were some characters that were absolutely useless.
Yeah.
I found there was a lot of characters and a lot of them were useless. And then you had 3 or 4 that were good. I agree with Matt. When someone became the tank, it was just like you would have to literally like sacrifice yourself while your teammates come from behind to kill the person because they would just dummy you. And I felt that even the character I was using, he ended up being very good because he's got like a machine gun. There was one character, can't remember the character's name now. You throw like this globe and you can almost like teleport, like
it's
like X-Men styles. Like it was amazing.
Yep.
There was a lot of cool. They have a very good concept. The game just wasn't for me. I thought the art direction was fine. I thought it was bright and colorful. I really liked that. It looked different than something else I was playing. If they want the art direction, because a lot of people in the comments were saying the game looked ugly, then go play that game. Like every game should have its own feel and vibe. I thought that was fine. I thought the characters felt very Guardians of the Galaxy, 100%.
Yep.
A lot of the game, that's what it felt like to me. But other than that, it didn't speak to me. Like I'll probably jump back in again next weekend or this weekend, sorry. And see if it really does grab me, because I had fun playing with Steve and Matt, but when I played by myself, man, I didn't like that game. And it's just that's another thing about that. I felt if you weren't playing with friends or in a group, then the game dies.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like it's very, very much like you have to act as a team. Rice, I'm really curious about your perspective on this, because like you're kind of the resident shooter master, and on top of those, like a lot of folks did compare it a lot. Steve himself was kept saying how much it felt like Crucible in Destiny. Curious as to your thoughts, and how did you like the game? Did you not? How did you feel?
Yeah, I actually really loved my experience. Aside from kind of the pacing, I think that Court was addressing, like maybe feeling a tad slow. I don't know if that's maybe the feel or the controls, or I think earlier you kind of had mentioned like the gunplay and maybe the kickback of it. I don't know if I can really even put a finger on any of that yet, because I'd like to give it another shot. But an overall experience for me was like I wanted to play more. I really did. I don't really understand the discourse on how people think that this game is ugly, because the first thought that I had was like, oh, I really love how these characters look. So I quite enjoyed everything aesthetically. Where my issues lie, and I can see where Steve was completely comparing it to the Crucible, and kind of paying attention to life bars, and knowing what guns do what kind of damage. I actually found myself using Hamar a lot.
Yes.
And she had kind of this hover.
She was awesome. She could hide in the corner. And stuff. Yeah.
And her weapon was like
bazooka
this
looking thing,
the flame shot bow. And I was using her most of the time, because it was high damage output and enough agility for you to kind of get out of certain situations.
She has great ground control, right? Especially when you have a lot of them grouped up, and with her fire toss, like you can push people to start to break formation a little bit if you can get under them.
I actually thought there was too much health available.
I think so too. I think that there could be a little more adjustments around time to kill. I also used Veil. Veil is the sniper. And I found sniping quite satisfying. A little bit of tweaking here and there that could actually make it a little more smooth. And I did experience some phantom crit shots as well. So like and that might be, I don't know, my internet, that could be whatever issue, but there were just some slow issues that slowed down the experience.
Yeah, I used Hamar a lot. I think she's probably one of my favorites. Just the fire control and stuff was really cool. I used a lot of Roku. I thought they were really cool with the flying and the ground strike and the rocket launcher. And then I used a lot of Jabali. And then I used a lot of Jabali because we needed a healer. Like his kind of, again, his vulnerability casting and his heals were just really, really satisfying to use.
And his gun is
cool.
So that's the thing. I found the guns to be meh, but when you use him, he's really satisfying. Like his gun is good. The recoil, everything is good about his. So it's almost like they need to like, hey, what you could feel with his, especially in the dual sense. Like I could feel the vibrations because he's got that more of a rapid shot. It's almost like, hey, take the feel of that and just put it in the rest of them.
I think some of my other issues were focused around spawns. I found that like if you died, you'd spawn really far away from your team. And as a tank who runs slow and moves slow, it like by the time you got back to the rest of your team, like you would essentially be the team would the team would be wiped and you'd be kind of left trying to fend for yourself while they caught back up. So I feel like the spawns need a bit of adjustment. But I think overall, like I'm curious to learn more. I think one of my other issues that I wish they had kind of dialed in a little bit more for the beta, and I hope maybe they'll fix by next weekend, is the character bar is not organized. And I think from what I was poking around the menus, it seems like you'll be able to kind of slot characters in whichever way you want. So like, the characters that you use most often will be near the front. But as the beta, there were, DPS next to tank, next to healer, DPS, tank. Like it was not organized in a way that as a player, not understanding what any of these characters are, made it a little bit hard to get into. So I feel like there's just some stuff. I think the bedrock here is really solid. I had a lot of fun playing, and I jumped in with a bunch of friends, and there was we literally had a 5-stack crew, and it was a lot of fun. But when I tried to play solo, as Court was saying, it's just really hard if you're off comms to be able to kind of properly work as a team. And then like the team balancing and stuff, there's stuff that needs finessing, which I don't think is an issue, but I think there's too many people who aren't going to care regardless of how good the game actually is because of racism and bigotry. So forget them. But
they can just go fuck a hat. Like I don't even care anymore. Like I just swear they were just pissing me off. Like I was trying to ignore it. And the reason I was ignoring it first, I told Matt, I previously had an experience on social media where a person got very personal because that's what these people do. And I'll say it, these people, like, they're terrible. They purposely will go after, and that's what they're trying to do. And this person like showed photos of like my personal social media account, and I was just like, ooh. So I didn't want to jump in. And then I was like, I did some research in this one that was harassing Matt first thing in the morning, and I was like, wait a second, he has a bunch of people that I know follow him. Huge Xbox guy, by the way, that guy, huge Xbox guy. And I was like, I'm not letting this one go. I also did message one of his followers, and that person unfollowed him. But this guy was just such a huge loser that I couldn't let it go because everything he was talking about the game had nothing to do with the game. Like nothing. He disliked the game for his political views, which once again, he can have the views he wants. But as I said to him the very first time, I said, what about his post? Matt's post was political in any way, shape, or form. His first critique of the post had nothing to do with what Matt said. Zero. His first fire that he threw in there had nothing to do with the post. Zero. Yeah.
People suck. I feel like there's console war negativity no matter what the platform is. I think there's just a bunch of idiots out there. And I feel like I told Court was like, you should just leave them alone. And I was like, no, they like, I have no, again, anybody who wants to have a conversation about whether they like or dislike the game, totally fine. But you don't get to hate loudly and not expect me to say anything back to you, because that's all that they were doing. Like, you don't bring hate to, to my space and then expect me just to sit there and not talk about it. Like, fuck you guys. Like, forget it. Like, it's not happening. So I am curious to see how this next beta weekend is going to go. Now it's going to be open. There's going to be, an extra mode, an extra map. So I'm curious to see how people feel about it over the course of the next
that was my favorite. The amount of people that came in and be like, here's the Steam numbers. And the amount of times you're like, it's a closed beta, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
People are dumb. Let's not waste any more of our energy on a bunch of, asshats that aren't going to change. Can you let us know, did you like Concord? Are you planning on helping back in this weekend? Can you let us know in the comments? Because I'd be curious for folks to tell us. And if it's any hate, I don't really care. Let's hop into our first bit of news, because PlayStation Stars is back, baby. Coming from IGN, written by Isaiah Colbert, PlayStation Stars seems to be back online for some after a month-long hiatus. After a bizarre month-long downtime, PlayStation Stars is seemingly back online in the US and Canada.
So yesterday.
Players were mysteriously unable to access the PlayStation Stars program. According to Kotaku, users who clicked the PlayStation Stars icon on the PlayStation app were met with an error message that read, PlayStation Stars is currently experiencing issues. Our engineers are aware of the issue and are working on a solution. PlayStation did not comment on anything up until July 7th when they said it's starting to roll back out. As of, I think for me, it was Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday. For me, it finally popped and I was able to go in. I see all my points. My points are still there. But yeah, PlayStation Stars is finally back. No explanation as to what happened or why. I don't know. Court, did we get an update on whether people got more points or anything? Because I feel like
not.
Okay.
So far, I haven't. So I had made 2 purchases during this. So I looked and I wrote them down on a piece of paper. I did not get the points for those purchases. I have sent an email to support. Well, I guess I went into a chat and then they've put me on file and they're going to get back to me about it. They're handling a large amount of claims, is what I got told.
I'm sure. Yep.
But because of my PlayStation Star status, they got back to me. It's still the craziest thing that you have to. That's how you get customer service. But you know what? We'll let that one go. But they said they're going to get back to me. But yes, I did not get those points. Sony has made it clear that the days of play stuff that was going on, too sad, so sad, too sad. It is what it is. Nothing is being retroactive. And they gave absolutely nothing. Like they didn't even give you like a fake trophy. Like they could have gave a fake, and let's call them what they are. What NFTs. They were going to be NFTs. Yeah. And then they decided, well, that's some bad publicity. So we'll call
digital
them
collectibles.
Digital collectibles now.
Right.
But they didn't give anything. And I'm actually in shock, but I guess I shouldn't be at the same time because yikes.
Yeah, like they could have done like here's 1,000 points. Sorry, it's been gone, but yeah, I don't know. We'll keep folks posted as especially as
when I get my points, I think I will get them. I think what they're doing is they're doing it on a case-by-case basis, and I truly think, and this sounds terrible, but a lot of companies do this, they're not going to do anything unless people complain.
Yeah, probably. Well, keep us posted. Let's see what happens. Let's hop into our next news story, which I pulled especially for Court because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed shows off its platform brawling and first trailer. This is coming from Eurogamer, written by Matt Wales. As an old person who's still not over the novelty of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being allowed,
especially because Console Creatures has an article on this. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well. Without anyone getting funny about the word ninja, it'd be fair to say I'm a little behind on the franchise. Blah, 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 blah. Let's skip ahead. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed, as the game is known, was actually announced earlier this year, but developer A Heart Full of Games and publisher Outright Games has now released a first trailer, which can be seen below. Mutants Unleashed is quote-unquote a story-driven 3D brawler and platformer coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC, and you'll be able to play with the 4 turtles. Court, tell me about it.
Okay, so here's some little 411. I will be interviewing the developers on this game on 3 Dads in a Console in the upcoming months. It should be 2-player. Yes, I am an Outright ambassador, so it should be 2-player. But from what we are seeing, from what I originally was told, it could be 2-player. But from what I'm seeing in the trailers, it makes me think it's not. But very rarely does Outright Games not allow any of their games to be 2-player. So I'm truly hoping, but if I go by what I'm seeing in the trailer, it looks to be 1-player only. But the art design on this looks absolutely unbelievable.
It looks really cute.
It looks very good. I will say this. Don't expect it to be crazy level design and hard.
Insanely difficult, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's no difficulty that's going to be to this game. This game is solely going to speak to the people that love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise, that want to have fun, like you see that you can skateboard and stuff, but also so you can play it with your kids. Okay? Outright Games as a developer makes games for kids.
Yeah.
That's who it's for. It's I knew Matt knows this is a sore spot for me that Bluey the video game when it came out. A lot of outlets who 100% did not receive the code from Outright to review the game, whether they were asked to by their outlet to do it, they had to go out and buy said game after release, and they only did it because Greg Miller did a mini review on Twitter and said, hey, don't like the gameplay of the game, but for kids, this game's absolutely amazing. And then you had outlets like IGN, Kotaku, like unbelievable amount of outlets that have never covered one game from Outright before, out of nowhere want clicks and then lambaste the game. Now, for me, if they're complaining about, one person actually was complaining, it was the best, was like, hey, it has nothing to do with the story of the TV show and all that. And I was like, wow, this person really just didn't do any research whatsoever. No. Literally the people that make the TV show made the damn game. So like that, with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Seth Rogen and all them, their team had input on the game. So but the game is geared towards kids. So when
Yes.
at Three Dads, when we review games like this, I let my daughter play it.
Mhm.
I will give my input as a parent and say, hey, here's if there's parts that maybe your kid should play, all that kind of stuff, or if there's hard parts, so on and so forth. But I'm not going to do it like the reviews that we do for games, because guess what? The game ain't for me.
Mhm.
And so for this game here, I just want to put like a caveat on this for everybody. This game is made for kids. If you can't wrap that around your head, then
Don't
you
waste
have
your
more
money.
issues than everybody else. Like I just don't know what to tell you. Like the game's made for kids, but I'm sure outlets are going to go out and make go after it. But these games are put together. They're outright's putting these games out, and they're putting them out in a 2-3 year dev cycle here, which is very small in the shape of things that are going on here in gaming. But they make them very accessible for kids to play.
Yeah.
And that's extremely important. They make them like when you're playing them, you're like, wow, this is so simple. Like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the point. So I just want to temper expectations on this. It looks awesome. It's probably going to be a lot of fun, but it's made for kids.
Yeah. Bryce, where are you at on this? Are you an outright games guy?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been playing actually I didn't mention this earlier, but I guess I have been playing a lot of games with my son. So between Bluey and the Paw Patrol games by Outright, we've been playing a lot of that. He's super into racing right now, so there's a racing game.
Dude, there's that dino, the Gigantosaurus dino kart one.
Yes, and so that's already installed, and so yeah, man, and to that point, it is extremely important. And there, all this discourse is for one type of gamer or a small chunk of the population of gamers. Guys, like, kids play games, and this is such a great entry point into their journey into a much larger piece of the pie. So yeah, man, I'm all for games like this. I for one am a huge TMNT fan, dating all the way back to the 90s, 80s, 90s movies. And those were just like the best thing ever. And yeah, so I'm excited for this regardless of even how it plays. It already looks so cool to me, so I'm down.
Yeah, I think they really nailed the art style of the movie and stuff. I think it looks really cute. And like, again, I'm excited to hear your folks' thoughts.
It's the same team. So they so they worked with the art team from the movie.
That's
they
awesome.
Worked with the team that developed the story for the movie for the game. So I just want to put that caveat on. They worked directly with Seth Rogen's team to make this game. So just saying.
There you go. Let's move on to our next news story coming from let's go to this one. Eurogamer one more time, because Synapse developer announces new VR multiplayer game Frenzies for MetaQuest and PSVR 2. It lives. Written by Ed Nightingale, a new VR multiplayer game has been announced by N-Dreams, the developer of Synapse, coming to PSVR 2 and MetaQuest. Frenzies is an arena multiplayer shooter with gameplay similar to Synapse, split into unpredictable 5-round matches with names like Red Light, Green Light, and Glitter Pig. It's unclear exactly what that one's about. Round types are both solo and team-based for an unpredictable experience, all wearing Squid Game-esque onesies with customizable masks. They're taking inspiration from games like Quake and Unreal Tournament, but bringing that into VR. I wanted to bring this up because I love Synapse. I genuinely think it's one of the best games on PSVR 2. Not that there's a lot, but it's easily one of the best ones. So I'm locked in on what N-Dreams is doing next, because I came away incredibly impressed with Synapse. I'm glad that it is hitting both MetaQuest and PSVR 2, because my upfront worry with PSVR 2 would just be a low player count. I'm trying to see here. I don't know if there's confirmation either way that there's going to be crossplay, because I really hope there will be, just because of how good the PSVR 2 feels to use, but definitely going to need some MetaQuest players to help bolster that player count. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how this one shakes out. Court,
I sold my PSVR 2.
You did?
I 100% did.
You finally did it?
I did it. I sold it last week.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest here. I got $500 for it, and I feel very lucky to get $500 for it. This is the first piece of tech besides the Vita where I was mad, because I just feel that thing had legs and just wasn't supported, and it just is what it is. because that was an amazing piece of tech. And if PlayStation brought out another handheld that wasn't the Portal that actually worked better, I would be all over it. Mind you, the Portal now has the hotel Wi-Fi, so that is amazing. But I sold my PSVR 2. I felt that I was not getting my money's worth on how much money I spent on that thing, close to $1,000 with everything that came with this thing. And I love the tech. I will say this, the PSVR 2 tech is unbelievable. Horizon is one of the best games I've played in the last couple of years. Beat Saber was amazing. I truly loved VR. After Matt kind of was my VR sensei, and he even taught me about when you first get into VR, and the guy I sold this to, I actually gave the same advice that Matt gave me of there is a learning curve and a body curve going into VR for the first. You're going to have sweats. You're going to have all these things that you're going to go through when you play VR games.
It's VR puberty.
Yeah. And I truly, truly, truly loved VR, but I realized I hadn't used it in over 6 months, and it kind of pissed me off. And for that reason, I'd rather just the money for it before it goes the way of the dodo. I think I almost wanted to keep it just so I could play PC games with it, but I could get a MetaQuest for a lot cheaper, and I could play those, and I could still play those games that I want to play. I think Sony had a great headset with great tech, and it's not their fault that no one supported it. The developers, they didn't. I don't think the developers even saw their return, even bringing the games out to begin with. They didn't see a reason to.
I think it's Sony's fault for not backing it properly. I feel like there should have been putting money out there for developers to make VR titles based on their first party properties. I'm sure that they kept those things very close to the chest. Because I'd be shocked if some of the bigger VR developers out there, if Sony came to them and we'll give you money to make an Uncharted game in VR, I would be hard pressed to believe that they'd be like, nah, we're good. So I don't know. I just don't. I mean, we saw with PSVR 1, they just didn't make first party games for it. They just they did not license out IP to do it with, and a lot of hope going into PSVR 2 that it would happen with the second one, and it hasn't.
Yeah, Astrobot not being converted to a PSVR 2,
wild,
all
dude.
these games, it just
wild.
There was a lot of writing on the wall, and then even Assassin's Creed. I spoke to Ubisoft. There was no deal that it was exclusive to MetaQuest 3. They just didn't make it for PSVR 2.
Yeah.
So that tells you a lot more. At Batman. Come on, there's games coming out for the MetaQuest. They're not even coming out for the PSVR. You can play them on your PSVR, but you got to hook them up to your console. I mean your PC, sorry.
Yeah, I'm still excited for what Endreams is working on. I'm excited to check out Frenzies when the time comes.
Sure.
But yeah, and also breaking news, I just got an email from PlayStation. We're happy to share that PlayStation Stars has now returned across all regions where it is available. Sorry if it caused you any inconvenience, and appreciate your patience. Thanks.
Hey, I got that too. I did get the days of play. I just went through because Chris in the chat was like, "Did you not get the days of play?" It is there as my collectible. I didn't know I got it because I go by the notifications. So when it first got clicked on, there was a bunch of notifications that went off. You got this. They gave me one for a VR game for Ghostbusters, which is cool. They gave me the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
There you go.
But that's about it. I was expecting more. I'm agreeing with Matt. They should have definitely given us, here's some points.
Yeah, just something so of it a good grace. But
yes, I've sold my PSVR 2. I'm out of the VR game, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to get the new MetaQuest because I truly liked VR, and I would love to play Half-Life Alyx, and I definitely am not going to miss it on Batman. So
yeah, MetaQuest 3 is awesome.
It's Matt told me it's the better of.
Plus, it's the superior.
Plus, you can both use Game Pass and you can use Remote Play to your PlayStation.
Yeah, Matt was showing me some crazy stuff on that thing.
That's a PlayStation Portal right there. Let's jump into a couple more news stories before we round out the show with some questions. Because coming from VGC, Stellar Blade Dev generates over 300 million in IPO, South Korea's second largest this year. This is coming from Andy Robinson. Stellar Blade developer Shift Up has achieved South Korea's largest initial public offering for a video game company in 3 years. As reported by Bloomberg, the Seoul-based company jumped nearly 50% on its first day of trading, raising 435 billion won, which is equivalent to 320 million. Shift Up's offering is the first of the game firm to clear 50 mil since 2021, when PUBG owner Krafton IPOs reached 3.8 billion. I just wanted to shout this out. Good.
It's awesome. Good
Congrats
news.
to Shift Up. Congrats to Shift Up. The
Congrats.
Stellar Blade is obviously a massive hit. I think it's like we got sales numbers. I'm gonna look up the sales numbers before I.
It's a game that there was no chance in the world if PlayStation doesn't provide me a code for review that I ever would have played to then realize that I really enjoyed. And then when something else in that genre comes out, I'm probably going to play it now.
Yeah, over a mil sales now.
Wow.
In
like,
a handful
good
of
for
months.
that. Like we on most of these podcasts there's a lot of times where we talk about the negativity, and we did at the very beginning, even though that's the worst part about Concord. Matt really likes it. Rice really likes it. Yet we probably spent 50% of that talking about the negativity that's put towards it.
Sure.
Stellar Blade, this game's amazing. Like it's fun.
It's a great game.
It's a really good game. Like I recommend everybody go play it. Even if you don't think this is your type of game, I promise you, it's going to surprise you.
Yes.
Yeah, it was genuinely like I went into it expecting to like it and came away much more impressed than I think I was ready for. And for their first, Shift Up's first real console game, because I think they have like one mobile title out beforehand. Like this is a huge win for them. Sending them lots of congratulations. This is awesome. I'm sure we're going to see lots more Stellar Blade to come over the next little while because this feels like a new IP for Sony in a big way.
Outfits.
I think for our Halloween episode, gang, we should all dress up as a different Eve.
Yeah.
You know what? That is perfect. That is during my time off. So yes, do that.
I think you should come back. I think you should come back as the skin suit Eve. Court, just saying.
The bunny suit?
No, the skin suit. Rice feels more bunny suit. You feel more skin suit.
Yeah, exactly. I'll wear those ears.
Yeah. I believe it, bro.
Exactly.
And you would look good in them.
Oh, well, thank you.
Our final news story coming once again from BGC. July's PlayStation Plus game catalog and classics titles have been revealed.
And Matt was right. I just wanted, before I knew you were going to talk about this, I just want to say, Matt made a comment last time we talked about PlayStation Plus that he said this PlayStation Plus Extra, I guarantee, is going to be a great, because that's what they've been doing. The PlayStation Plus games have been meh. And you're like, the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium games have been fantastic. And once again.
Yep. We're getting Remnant 2 on PS5, Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion, Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, Jackbox Party Pack 9, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, No More Heroes 3, Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes Complete Edition, Deadcraft and Steep Across Extra, and hitting Premium, Job Simulator.
It's a great game. My daughter loved that game.
Fantastic. It's fantastic. Coming to PSVR 2, Summoner, Ratchet and Clank Size Matter, and Jean d'Arc. Rice, how are we feeling about July's PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium?
I'm feeling pretty good. That's a solid list of games right there. I'm interested to hear about Job Simulator. I chuckled, but like it's good.
It's
like
so
it's
really good.
I can't believe how much fun that is. And there's like there's a there's different, like there's like a convenience store, there's a office, and
like a restaurant.
Yeah, and then there's also like a auto body shop. Yeah. But when you're in the office, you got these donuts. This robot comes around with donuts all the time, and my daughter would follow the robot around and walk around and grab donuts and throw them at her coworkers. Like she thought that was the greatest thing in the world.
It's consistently one of like the most played VR titles on PSVR and PSVR 2.
It is addictively fun.
It is really, really dumb, but really, really fun. It's just a great time. And the second one is still really good. I don't think it captured the magic as well as the first one did. But the second one's still fun. I think this is I think this is a fantastic list. Final Fantasy VII Reunion finally hitting.
I wanted to play the Remnant. It's a cover shooter. Like everything about this game, I love my cover shooters, and I was like,
I hear it's really great.
That's what I've heard.
Remnant is really, really good. I played a bunch of it when it came out. It is also very, very hard. It's like a Dark Souls inspired shooter.
Come on.
It is one of those things that you need a solid squad to play with.
Yeah, you need a squad.
It has incredible level design, some really, really great fights. Like some of the most creative shooter boss fights I've seen.
But it is a cover shooter, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's known for being really
Have you played it, Rice?
I've watched gameplay.
Okay, so like because I know you played the Division 2. The Division 2, when it first came out, it was hard.
Yeah.
But I now run through that like it's butter. Like it's nothing. I could just destroy people. I'm wondering if it's that type of thing as you play, you just
I think mechanically is quite difficult.
Remnant like by default is like it's trying to be like a Dark Souls inspired shooter. Like it is difficult on purpose.
Yes.
All right, I'm out.
Yeah, it's
I don't got time for that.
I know you don't. It's really good though. But
Yeah.
it is really
Ratchet and
tough.
Clank though. I'll play.
Ratchet and Clank is cool.
I've been
Was
loving
that the
these
Vita
retro
one?
games. I'm not too sure. I have no clue.
I'm
It
gonna
says
fact check
PS4 and
myself.
PS5, but like I Beyond Good and Evil, I finished now, and you know, I finished Sly Cooper. I'm loving going back to these old games. Plus, I'm gonna be honest here, these some easy trophies, boys.
True.
Easy
True, true, true.
trophies.
Good point. I'm trying to see. Yeah, and like Final Fantasy VII, Crisis Core, awesome for players that finished Rebirth and want to learn more about Zack. This is the time to do it.
Oh yes, that's definitely me.
That is 100% you. Rice, did you ever play Crisis Core?
I didn't. I have it, but I
love it.
But I didn't.
Suck it, Final Fantasy.
It's good.
No.
It's a quick play. It's like 10 hours compared to the
that's
normal
like
Final Fantasy
Only
player.
10
1 or 2
hours.
sets.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's quick. That's nothing.
It's quick. Yeah, that's nothing at all.
Size Matters was the PSP one.
Does size matter?
I have a kid, so no.
Yeah, great month. All right, folks, let's round out with some questions from our wonderful community. Ed Barnell from the Boss Rush Network.
I can't believe you did that. That was fantastic, by the way.
You did good.
That's kind of a knee jerk. Sorry.
Whatever kind of jerk it needs to be, dude. At that retro code writes in saying, with Nintendo announcing Emio and it being their very own M-rated games and all 3 platforms finally having their own M-rated titles, do you think PlayStation players are intrigued to see what it's about, and will they have a game ready to compare to it? So for anybody who didn't see, yeah, Nintendo's out here talking about Emio. It's some weird new horror title. We don't really know too much about it at this point in time. I don't know if PlayStation cares. I personally I think horror titles are a harder sell, generally speaking. I don't think they are as wide of an audience as a lot of other M-rated games can be. So for me, I don't really know if they have to have anything ready to it. Nintendo does their own thing constantly, and nobody else ever really does anything to try and respond.
Nobody really cares. They're just like,
Like Nintendo players are stoked, and I'm stoked for them. But like, I don't. From what I've seen of Emio, nothing about it grabs me personally.
And I would think, and this after the whole thing with Stellar Blade, I think if they were going to make an M-rated game, it needs to be more sexualized for the PlayStation players for them to care. I'm going to be totally honest with you.
That's a real statement.
It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
They don't care about the horror, but they'll definitely be all over the nudity. They'd be all in that, in that, if there was nudity in a game.
Rice, where are you at on Emio?
Yeah, it's kind of a kind of like, it doesn't draw anything for me. I think that I love Nintendo because of their stuff. And so this would have to kind of do something incredibly surprising for me, in where like I look for those horror experiences on other platforms. So nothing super drawing for me in this conversation, but happy for whoever's happy about it.
Yeah, I also we don't really know anything about it yet. Like we literally got a teaser. Like I'm curious. Like maybe we'll have more thoughts about it once we actually see what that game is. Submit Roy at Black Wyver writes in saying, hope you are all doing well. Here are some questions for the show. Number 1, do the 3 of you play any co-op games together? Not yet, but that needs to change.
Yeah, Matt and I do, but we need to add Rice.
Yeah, Court tried to get me in there. Yeah, no, I know. I'm going to get ahead of you on this, and I just bailed.
Dude, he left me on read. Not even just like, he left me on read, and then like 2 weeks later was like, I did not answer this text. I'm so sorry. And then he goes, not even that. In that text, he was like, I'll get right back to you today, and still hasn't answered that text since.
Yeah. The fact that I told him I was going to get back to him was like, yeah, I'll answer you later. And then I realized like weeks after that I didn't.
It's still later. You can send him a text right now and it still counts.
No, listen, if I could just get ahead of it and say, let me jump in on a Concord session.
I was going to say,
boys.
Let's rock some Concord together this weekend.
Yeah. And we can always rotate if there's more people. So I just want to hang out.
Yeah, we're just gonna hang out.
I read this question and I was really anxious about it. I was like, Court's gonna call me up. Court's gonna
call him up, man. Because he was like on this show, he's like, yeah, dude, I'm in for the division. He sent me a picture. I've downloaded it. He was like, it's like he was like, when your parents say to your kids, like, maybe. He maybe'd me.
I maybe'd you. I did. Yeah.
He did this division at home to you, and then he played a better game. So
I treated you like a toddler.
Yeah.
He got you excited and then left you by the wayside. Smith's next question was, did you play Elden Ring together? There's no chance that Court would touch Elden Ring.
No, yeah, I don't think Court would
Could
want
care
to.
less.
Remnant
exactly.
we might be able to get him on a couple sessions of Remnant.
Okay,
Yeah.
you'd have to, 100%. But I'm not buying Elden Ring.
No,
100%. No, I know you're not.
Let's try Remnant.
Let's try Remnant. We could try Remnant.
I'm down for Remnant.
Yeah. We could try it. It can't hurt to try.
No.
At worst, all it cost you was
it would probably make for good content.
It would make for good content.
It would.
And his final question: are there any co-op games that you recommend that are not shooters? Cheers.
Sports games, but no one cares when I say it, so it doesn't matter.
Would you count them as co-op? I guess so.
100%. How are they not? There's team games. Oh, Matt. Okay, so I know that you probably didn't get picked a lot when you were a kid, but when you play sports,
I got picked plenty.
No, I don't.
Wasn't first. Wasn't last.
Second last doesn't count. If you're not first, you're last. I'm just saying. But in NHL, for a perfect example, you can there's 5 players on each side, right? So you can play 5 online. Yeah, if you want, you could put the goalie, the two defense, 3 forwards against. So yeah, there's co-op aspects in all the sports games. I think they're great. They actually they cause a lot more arguments than you would think, but it's still fun. Like, I don't know, but those games are great. And then I would say there's a lot of platformers, the Lego games. My daughter and I play a ton of the Lego games together.
Yeah.
We just finished watching all the Harry Potters. She watched them all. She's watched every single one of them now. So we just started playing Lego Harry Potter, which is free on PlayStation Plus. So we jumped in and started playing that together, and that's co-op. And a lot of the puzzles in the Lego games are co-op as well.
Nice.
It Takes Two is an easy
I was
recommend.
just gonna say It Takes Two.
It Takes Two is an easy recommend. It's fantastic. I will also shout out Operation Tango. That hit PlayStation Plus
a while
ago. But it's one of the most creative co-op games I've ever played. That one has to be online. Like, you have to be in separate places because you control 2 different characters. One of them is like a hacker that guides the agent player that's actually on the ground doing missions. So you need both of these sides, and like, you need to work together very closely. A really, really, really cool co-op game. Not very long either, but like, I think we played through it in 1 or 2 settings. But it's a lot of fun and really, really different compared to a lot of the other co-op games out there. But I really, really enjoyed it. Rice, any co-op games you want to toss out?
I mean, if you haven't tried any of the Monster Hunter games, like, those games are super fun. They're not shooters, but you're using other weapons. So yeah, it's good. It's great. That's a thrill. Not for Court, but for a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't care if other people want to play. Whatever, man. Play like I wanted to say with all these Concord people, just play what you want to play. Like, I don't care.
Just play what you love.
Who cares?
Just shut up about the other stuff.
Play what you want to play. And our final question coming from Chris, who was in the chat, writing in saying, "Greetings,
PlayStation long one,
generation."
By the way, Chris. Jesus Christ.
That's a great question. Well, again, he clarifies. As relating to Pixar's Inside Out, which PlayStation characters would best represent your emotions if we looked inside your mind like the movies? He writes it out, for example, joy, sadness, fear, disgust, anger, embarrassment, envy, ennui, which is boredom, and anxiety. So let's pick 3 each. Let's pick 3
so
each.
Anger is Kratos.
I was just going to say that.
You know what? Let's run this through. We can do
this. Run through. We can do it as a joint.
Joy, Astrobot.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Joy's Astrobot. Ratchet can be an argument here too.
Yeah, but no, Joy definitely Astrobot. It's so happy.
Yeah, true.
Sadness, Joel.
Oh,
a profoundly sad character.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's sad dad 100% all the time.
Agreed.
Sure.
You know it's him.
Yeah.
You hate it.
No, I don't hate it because I was like, any character pretty much from The Last of Us could be sad.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Fear. I think this is one of the harder ones.
Yeah,
who would be a good fear character?
Clank. Clank's always like, oh my god, like always freaking out about everything in the game, like always freaking out.
Clank could be a good one. Okay. Let's run with Clank. I like that answer. Disgust.
Oh man, we can't use any more Last of Us character. Okay.
Who?
Nathan Drake.
Really? Disgust?
Yeah, because he's always just like, oh my god, like he's more fun.
Yeah, he's much more about
Disgust. Who's funny that like
somebody who's like I'm thinking like a gross character. Like
Oh, you're thinking it that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're thinking a totally different angle than me.
Okay,
I'm
I'm searching up some characters here.
Same, because I like this character. I like this character.
Sweet Tooth?
It's a great question.
Sweet Tooth could be a good disgust.
Oh yeah.
Sweet Tooth could be a good disgust.
Venom.
Oh yeah, Venom.
Spider-Man.
Venom wins.
Venom wins. Okay. Venom wins.
Okay.
Anger, like we said, Kratos, that's a lock. I don't think we can go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's easy. Embarrassment.
I was
Sully?
Sully could be a good one. Sully
He's
could
got
be a
suave,
good
but he does a lot of but then Nathan Drake does. He does so much. He's clumsy and stupid, right?
I was gonna say Sackboy as a jab.
Oh,
Sackboy.
I'm so sorry, Graham. If you're listening.
I could like Sackboy as embarrassment.
As embarrassment.
Let's run it. He gets the facial expressions and everything. Okay, let's run it. Envy.
It's got to be a
Captain
villain.
Quark.
Who?
From Ratchet and Clank. Captain Quark.
Oh,
the green one.
Hold on. He's perfect. He's perfect because he wants to be the superhero, right?
Yep, he wants to be the superhero.
Yeah.
But he's a big old bitch.
Yep.
He's funny, but yeah. Boredom. Ennui.
Yeah, boredom.
Who's Ellie's girlfriend in The Last of Us?
Dina.
Dina.
I don't know if I'd call
So boring. I forgot her name.
No, she's
yes. I'm sorry, Matt. I know you love her, but as a character, she's so boring.
I feel like she's a more neutral character.
What do you mean? I'm talking about boring character.
Oh, this
Dina's like gives me flashbacks of annoyance. Like it's just actually she's annoying. Yeah.
For me, like boredom is more of like a character like kind of forgettable. They're just kind of there.
I was gonna say Aloy.
Oh, dude, that's too mean. You don't forget her though. That's impossible. But I get it. It's funny.
I don't forget her. You're right.
But boredom, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
And again, where I first went.
Okay, lock it. Aloy. Anxiety.
This
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is a great pick.
That is actually perfect.
That is a great pick for anxiety. Spider-Man is 100% anxious
all day long.
That's perfect. Okay, we capped
him and Miles are like unbelievably anxious.
Yep. That's that. I love that.
We did it.
We did it. Look at us, guys.
We did it.
Hey,
thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Great question. I like that one a lot.
Boys, by the way, the movie is not that good. I'm sorry. I took my daughter and I
disagree.
Her. So
I loved it.
So you liking and our kids liking are totally different. That's what I mean. Like I walked in, it was like, oh, that's they taught her a lot of great things, and she walks out and she's like, Daddy, that's not gonna be something I want to watch again. I'm like, ooh.
That's fair. It was
she
like
also
it
didn't
was
like
like
the new Minions. She thought the new Despicable Me was meh.
My nephew said the same thing.
Yeah, I thought the Rise of Groot was way better than Despicable Me 4. It was just not funny. It just wasn't funny.
I forgot one thing. I'm going to pull in TJ at Private Jeebus saying, why did they leave out the most important representation of all, the mighty Concord?
Oh,
which is a fantastic joke.
Yes.
And I now want a plain person in Concord, please, and I will not have it any other way. And I want.
Do you know there was a transformer that turned into a Concord jet?
Yeah, perfect. Bring that one in. And I don't want them to talk.
I think his name was Superior. Was it Superior? I can't.
I don't know. I just want plain noises out of him, though. I want no actual dialogue. Just that brings us to the end of the episode, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. Rice, where can people see and hear more of you?
Yes, absolutely. I am on Twitch at RiceBoy, BOYYY TV, and you can find me on my link tree
every time, dude.
What?
Every time when he says YTV, every time.
I know. No, I do that. I do it for that reason.
You need the T-shirt and be like, you need the T-shirt.
My wife has a Cricut. I can actually just make a custom one myself. Yeah. So you're giving me some ideas,
dude. That's good merch.
Yeah.
Just use the white because it's like you can use it. So many people do, right? Just use the YTV.
Hey.
You do like your Rice Boy TV, but do the YTV logo on the back, but the Rice Boy TV instead of YTV at the bottom. Oh my God, that's the perfect logo.
Oh,
or just do it as like a little like top right thing at the end.
Yes.
Do you even know what YTV is, Matt?
I grew up on YTV, bro. What are you
I thought
talking
you were
about?
like you're like 12, so I didn't know. Like,
You're like 12.
YTV still exists now, buddy.
does it?
Probably.
Not
No,
with
I don't
Sugar
think
and
it does.
Carlos.
I don't think
Not
it
with
does.
Sugar and Carlos. Sugar and Carlos.
I don't think
were my
YTV does.
childhood.
My buddy's dad started it. I don't think it does.
You're a liar.
No, I don't know.
YTV still exists, bro.
Okay, all right.
There's a website and everything.
It is the ultimate destination for all awesome videos on your favorite YTV shows. There's a website. www.
Oh, so it's just a website showing
No,
old
no,
YTV
no, no.
stuff.
No.
Because remember YTV was Power Rangers, right?
it's
Oh,
right
YTV
here.
does exist. All right.
YTV still exists, bro.
It
Feature
does.
shows SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh,
Popularity Papers.
Doesn't
The
matter.
Loud
Forrest bought
House?
it. Yeah.
Megamind Rules, bro.
That's a
see.
terrible show.
Well, maybe you should watch more YTV.
Rock
and
Paper
figure it out.
Scissors is hilarious. My daughter doesn't get half the jokes, but I do.
I
The Zone
remember.
is still a thing.
That is a good question. Whether the Zone is still a thing on YTV is a much deeper.
And what they
ask.
called? They're called PJ. What was? They didn't call them DJ. They didn't call them DJs or what they call them.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The Zone still airs every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Oh, interesting.
Jenny and Pat. I don't know. Chris in the chat says Jenny and Pat. I don't remember who Jenny and Pat are, but I remember Sugar and Carlos. Sugar and Carlos was my era. of
Phil.
YTV.
Phil is mine and Rice.
Oh, Phil. Oh my
Phil's the
God,
best,
you're
man.
right.
Phil's the best.
Frig,
Nah,
that was
dude,
so long
Sugar and
ago.
Carlos were the best. I remember there was there like a talking hand in the wall,
There
Well,
were-
no. So
and at one point it goes missing.
I don't.
That was
remember that.
scarring for me, bro. There was like something like I think it was a hand in the wall that would like talk or something, and at one point
green
it went
hand?
missing. Maybe I can't remember exactly.
Maybe
what
it
it
got a
was,
little touchy. You know?
but it got.
This
But
is
it
a
went.
deep cut here.
It went missing, and I remember like being so young that me and my friends like called each other after school. Like, did you see the Zone? The hand is missing. Let's go out into the neighborhood and look around. And we went searching for that hand in our neighborhood. We didn't find it, sadly enough. There were other hands, just not one on
The
its own.
hand from the Zone. I gotta Google this.
I can't remember if it was a hand. It may have been some sort of other thing, but there was like a cavity in the wall that would open up, and there would be a thing there. And I think it was a hand.
Hold on, you could be right. Hold on.
This callback right here, just this moment, is just an incredible tunnel into simpler times. Thank you for talking about the hand that went missing. Because you know,
Here, look, peep this. Watch, hold on. Hold on. Random stuff with Jenny and Pat. Yeah, okay, Chris in the chat on thing here, but here we go. Look,
Dude,
this guy's
you're gonna
talking
get
about
us
stuff.
DMCA'd.
It's the volume's off.
well,
That
he's like,
doesn't matter. The video gets you too.
See, look.
There's the hand.
Look,
Ooh, in the toilet.
Oh,
See?
interesting.
See?
Look at that set. Look
and
at that
and at
set.
one point it like goes missing. It was traumatic. But go check out Rice.
Because it was in the
Boy
toilet. It probably did some awkward things and touched people where they shouldn't.
Well, let's
I
not go
love-
that far.
I
Let's
love
not go
this
that-
discourse right now.
This is we're not going to slander the hand on the Zone, okay? We're not going to go that far.
See, even Chris is agreeing. The hand touched way too many things.
No, Chris is
No,
is
no,
just
I'm gonna
shouting out
take
the
it
hand.
like we learned on the internet the other day. I could take whatever people say, and whatever definition I want.
Banned.
Huh?
Banned.
Bam.
Banned. Rice, go check out Rice Boy on Twitch and on all the places. Court, where can people find you?
Oh, we're still doing this. Okay. You can find me every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. on Three Dads and a Console, or you can check out my writings at Console Creatures, or you can see me live at Monday every 1 p.m. Eastern on PlayStation Generations, or as Steve would like to call it, yeah, not that show.
Maybe we should rebrand as PlayStation Zone and just be
Zone.
we can
That would have been so good. Why didn't we think of that?
and I can just go. I can just do like this the entire time. You know what I
We
mean?
do,
I can
next episode will just be hand puppets.
that will
Do you
be
remember
far more
Freaky
exhausting than
Stories?
you're ready for. I do remember Freaky Stories.
This is a freaky story. It happened to a friend of mine.
Yeah, it happened to a friend of mine. Oh, bro, chills. You
I
can
got to
find
be
me
the audience once.
of what Freaky Stories.
No, of YTV.
I am jealous. I am jealous.
Hmm.
It's probably because it was Senior Citizen Day, so they just let you roll right in.
No, it was like when it first started. So I'm old enough to YTV started when I was a kid. That's how old YTV is.
You knocked my hat off.
I saw that reaction. Incredible.
Well, all Matt has is old people jokes. Matt one day is going to be old, and he's going to be the old people jokes.
It's okay. I can reuse them as long because, of course, not going to remember them anyway. But
Dude,
you can
I'll be
find me.
dead. What are you talking about? Remember them.
You can find me over on Matt_Silversoul, and you can find my words over at Console Creatures and at butwhythough.net. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Love you.